So in this module, we will look at what is a queue. So what exactly is a queue? So the topics covered in this module would be like we'll be looking at intuitive understanding of queue. Like we'll get an idea about what exactly is a queue data structure. We'll get a feel of it. Then we'll look into the formal definition of the queue as an abstract data type, like what all operations are there in the queue. So formal definition we'll look at. Then we'll compare queue with stack, array, and linked list. So we'll do this comparison. So how queue is different from stack, array, and linked list, and when to use queue over stack, array, and linked list. It will give you some very good insights. So all that we will be looking in this particular module of this full course on queue data structure. So let us look at these topics one by one. So first we'll look at intuitive understanding of queue data structure. Like let us try to get a feel of queue data structure. So you can imagine queue as a line of people or objects, like a line of people waiting for something, waiting for their turn, or any object also it can be. We'll look at some examples. So a line of people or a line of objects waiting for their turn. This is the most basic example you can imagine when you think about a queue data structure. So a line of people or line of objects waiting for their turn. Like I'm not talking about a data structure also. I'm just talking about a normal queue. Just imagine a queue. And if you try to visualize it from a real world scenario, you'll get some good examples. Like we have ticket counter queue. Like you want to get a movie ticket or a railway ticket, a bus ticket, any ticket, like you have to stand in a queue. So that's a ticket counter queue. Or you can look into the printer job queue. Like let us suppose you gave many papers to get printed. So definitely at a time only one paper will be served, it will get printed, and other paper will be keep on, they will wait. So there will be a printer job queue. So here object will be the paper. They are waiting for their turn to get printed. So printer job queue. Here we are talking about real world examples of queue. Similarly, in CPU, there is a concept of scheduling processes because see, processor can process only one process at a time. So other process will have to wait for their turn. So there is also a queue wherein objects are processed which are getting to get executed, processed. So these are some very common examples of queue which we see in our daily life. Now, one very interesting thing you will see in a common observation you will see is in a queue, it is first come, first serve. The principle is whoever comes first will get served first. First come, first serve. Because if I talk about ticket counter, just imagine a ticket counter. Whoever comes first, he will enter, he will get the ticket first. New people will keep on adding at the end of the line because there is a line to get the ticket. A new people, they will always enter from the back end of the line. And jump. Nobody can jump and get to the first. It's a process wherein one by one, the things will get served. There is no concept of jumping or breaking the line. Like let us suppose this is the counter. So it will be first come, first serve. One by one, ticket will be get served. And once the ticket is served, like this person will just take the ticket and come out of the queue. Then this person will take and come out of the queue. Like this, all the person in the front side, they will keep on exiting the queue. if any new person enters the queue to buy the ticket, he has to stand, enter from the back. So that's the basic concept of a queue. And this basic principle is followed in all types of queue. In printer job queue also, same concept is there. Here, the object will be paper. So same paper will get printed, and any new paper you give a print command to it, it will get added at the end of the queue. CPU scheduling, same. We have many processes. So it will also follow the same concept. So if we look at CPU scheduling, because it's a very interesting example and an important example in CPU scheduling, like let us suppose we have processes P1, P2, P3. So they will also get executed same way. Like let us say P1 came first, so it will get executed first, then P2, then P3, and any new process, if it gets added in the queue, it will get added in the end of the queue. So this is a scheduling. We are scheduling the process, and in CPU scheduling, like in operating systems, this round robin scheduling is very popular, and this is a sort of round robin only. So basically, we got an idea how queue looks like in a general term, in a general way. So queue follows something called as FIFO principle. After all this discussion, we can say that queue follows first in, first out, first in, first out, and that is FIFO. Queue follows FIFO, first in, first out, first come, first serve, first in, first out. So what it means is that first element inserted, first element inserted will be the one which will be removed. First element removed. So we can say that in a queue data structure, or in a general queue which we are discussing now, the order of insertion and order of deletion is the same. One very interesting observation we can make from all our discussions, that in a queue, order of insertion, like the order in which we insert, is same as the order of deletion. So order of insertion and order of deletion is same. So we got an intuitive understanding of the queue, and very easily we can say that queue has got lots of applications like ticket counter, printer job queue, CPU scheduling. So in general, if I tell, I can say that queue is used for managing tasks, scheduling jobs, and controlling order of execution. Now let us look at the formal definition in terms of abstract data type. Like if I consider queue data structure to be an abstract data type, so as an abstract data type, there are some special operations which are supported by the queue. So let us look at those operations one by one. So first is the enqueue. So this is a function, enqueue function. Inside this, you can pass any element. I call it X. X is any element which we want to insert. So what enqueue will do is, as the name suggests, enqueue means inserting an element in the queue. And we have already seen in the queue, insertion is always at the end. Like let us suppose there is a queue is there. Whenever a new element get inserted, where it will get inserted? At the end. So there is a terminology in the queue we call front and rear. Very important terminology I'm discussing. So the front of the queue and the back side is the, we call it rear. So always insertion happens at the rear of the queue. So what is enqueue operation? Enqueue is basically insert an element. So what this function will do, it will insert an element, and here that element is X. Like X can be any value. Insert an element at the rear of the queue, at the rear, like the back side of the queue. So this is the enqueue operation. Similarly, queue supports queue data structure supports dequeue operation. Dequeue means removing an element from the queue, and definitely we know that removal occurs always from the front. Whoever is there at the front of the queue, he will get removed. So dequeue function. So dequeue is a function. What it will do will, when you call this function, it will remove the element which is at the front of the queue. So enqueue function will add an element at the rear of the queue, and dequeue will remove the element which is there at the front of the queue. Then we have one more function in the queue, that is the front, or you can also call it peak. Front function or peak function. What it will do will, it will return the element at the front of the queue without removing it. So it returns the front element. So peak function, what it will do, returns the front element, returns the front element without removing it. Then we have rear function. It returns the last inserted element. Returns the last inserted element without removing it. Then we have is empty. So these are like functions supported by queue data structure. So as the name suggests, is empty. It will check if the queue is empty or not. Checks if the queue has no elements. That's the is empty. Then we have is full. So basically, if you implement queue data structure using array, because in array there is a size constraint is there. See, linked list is very flexible. You can keep on expanding it. No need to define the size at the time of the declaration. Like if you implement a linked list in C, C++, you can use the concept of dynamic memory allocation. Like during the runtime, you can scale the memory as per your need. But if you talk about array, like static memory allocation, while writing the program, you have to specify how many blocks of memory you need. And during the runtime, there is no scope of scaling. So in such scenario, wherein the memory allocation is static, there is a chance of array getting filled. So is full means if the queue is filled. If you look at from the real world scenario, like if there is a line is there for like in front of the ticket counter, so there is a space is there. After a point of time, there will be no vacant space for new people or new person to get add. So we call it full. So as the name suggests, this function will check if queue is full or not. Checks if the queue is full. If the queue is completely filled. And one more operation is there, the size. So it will return the number of elements present in the queue. It returns the total number of elements in the queue. So basically these are some functions or operations which is supported by queue data structure. So when you talk about queue data structure, definitely it will have these operations like enqueue. You can insert an element in the queue. Insertion will always occur rear of the queue. Dequeue means removing an element from the queue, and we always remove from the front of the queue. Front or peak operation will return the front element without removing it. It will just return the element without removing it. Similarly, rear function will return the rear element, last element of the queue without removing it. Is empty will check whether the queue is empty. Is full will check whether the queue is full. Size will return the size, total number of elements in the queue. So these are the operations. Now one very interesting thing we will discuss, we look at constraints. So there are some constraints like no insertion in the middle. Like we cannot directly insert any element in the middle of the queue. Very important it is. because like normally also if somebody tries to get into the middle of the queue, you don't allow. So no insertion in the middle. So in queue data structure also you cannot add any element from the middle. If it is a queue, insertion always has to be at the end. So no insertion in the middle and no deletion from the end. No deletion from the end, because we already saw if it is a queue, deletion has to be from the front, because first come first serve. If an element is getting removed, it has to get removed from the front. No deletion from the end. So in queue, only front and rear are used for interaction. Only front and rear are used for interaction. Like you can interact with the queue only from the front or from the rear side. You cannot interact in the middle. Now, one more very interesting thing I'll share about the queue data structure. So see, basically, if I talk about data structure, so as the name suggests, data structure is basically a technique of storing data or organizing data in a special way so that I can process it efficiently. That's the main idea of data structure. Like we arrange the data, organize the data in a special way, like in the form of a tree, in the form of graph, linked list, array, so that I can perform some operations at a very like fast, in a very optimal way. And that optimal way can be, I can optimize either the space or the time. Like normally I will be optimizing time only because there is no space constraint is there. But if you talk about embedded systems, robotics, real-time systems, there is a space constraint is also there. So the idea of data structures is that only that we organize the data in a special way. But in queue, it's not about organizing the data, because queue is some special rules we are applying on top of that organization, because data is already organized. Like when I talk about queue, data is already organized either in the form of an array or either in the form of a linked list. So data is already there in the memory, stored in the form of an array or in the form of a linked list. What queue will do, queue will add some constraints to that data. It will add some special rules to that data, that stored data, to that organization, data organization. And those rules which we just now discussed, it will help us in achieving some very interesting use cases, like some very interesting applications we have of the queue. So with those rules, with those principles, with these operations on top of those rules, will enable us in solving some problems more efficiently. And hence queue data structure is very important. It is been heavily used in computer science. So queues are rules on top of data structures, not specific data structures themselves. So we looked into the formal definition of the queue. Now we'll compare queue with stack. So queue versus stack. So when it comes to principle, so we just now saw that queue is FIFO, first in, first out, and stack is LIFO, last in, first out. So a very big difference in the principle. If I talk about interactions, so in the queue, we already saw interactions can happen at front and rear. So front will always be removal or deletion, because in the queue, from the front, there will always be deletion or removal of the element. And from in the rear, it will be insertion. So any new element, it will get inserted rear of the queue. In the stack, interaction will only happen at the top of the stack, and both insertion and removal will happen at the top of the stack. So this is the interaction. If I talk about use cases, so queue we already saw. Very important use case is scheduling. Scheduling. buffering, buffering queue is used, scheduling. In breadth first search, BFS, if you know the graph traversal, BFS is there, queue is used. If you talk about stack, where stack is used? In backtracking. In backtracking, stack is used. In function calling, especially this recursion, stack is used. Undo operations. We have undo operations. Like we can perform undo because of stack only. So the idea is very clear. See, stack has got its own applications, some its own advantages. Queue has got its own advantages. But difference is very clear between stack and queue. Now let's look at the difference between queue and array. Queue versus array. So if we look at the behavior or the principle, let me write it principle. So we know for queue, it is FIFO. We already saw first in, first out. See, for array, what's the principle? It's a static storage. Array is just like a static storage, like no order. It's a static storage which is sequential. This is important in array. It's always sequential. Now, if I talk about interaction, now in the queue, we already saw there is a constraint is there. We can interact only at the front or the rear. No middle. Like we cannot insert an element in the middle of the queue. We cannot remove an element from the middle of the queue. But in array, there is no constraint. This makes array very different from queue. Like you can interact anywhere. Interactions can be anywhere. There is no constraints. There is no foundations. What's the purpose? So see, we know that queue, we use it for specific purpose. And what is that? When we need an order of processing, we need a specific order of processing. Like we want, whenever we want first come, first serve, there are many real world scenarios wherein we want this principle. We want order of processing to be first come, first serve. So wherever there is a need for first come, first serve, we have to use queue. So the purpose of using queue is to implement first come, first serve order of processing. But in array, what is the purpose of array? The purpose of array is it will be a generic storage, a generic storage. Like we use array not for any order of processing, but to store the data. So array is used to store the data, but queue is not used to store the data because data is already stored. Queue will be used for first come, first serve order. Because if I need first come, first serve, I will be using queue. So that is queue versus array. So now let us jump into queue versus linked list. Queue versus linked list. So here also, if I talk about principle, like basic principles of queue, we already saw FIFO, first in, first out. See, linked list, it's also the beauty of linked list is that no need for sequential. It is not a sequential storage. So I can call it randomized storage. Like I can store the elements in the form of nodes in any order I want, and I can link it. That's the linked list. In linked list, I can allocate memory in any order and I can just link them, those nodes, those memory blocks. So that is the basic principle of linked list. If I talk about interactions, so here, like in the queue, definitely front and rear. What about linked list? According to you, what do you think? Like in linked list, what is the interaction? You will say that in linked list, we can only interact with the front, like the head. Because if I want to access the linked list, I have to start from the head because head will contain the address of the first node. And then using it, I'll go to the second node, third node. But I can interact with any node I want because I can delete from anywhere I want. I can delete any node. I can delete any particular node. I can insert anywhere I want. So interaction, I can say that anywhere. Because in queue, that is not possible. So flexibility, in terms of flexibility, linked list is very highly flexible and queue has got constraints. So the idea is very clear. Like linked list, what's the purpose of linked list? Linked list we mainly use to store the data. So if I talk about purpose, so the purpose of queue is order of processing. I want first come first serve. So whenever order of processing first come first serve I want, queue is my choice. But what's the purpose of linked list? It's also a generic storage, which is highly flexible as compared to array, because array is sequential, but linked list, and because of that sequential, the memory management will become very difficult. But in linked list, it's highly randomized, so it makes linked list more flexible. So we looked into the difference between queue and linked list. So finally we completed the module what is a queue.